place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's number one fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. This holiday season, grab the gift that everyone is hoping to open on Christmas morning and savor for as long as possible. Fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Beatrice Bakery offers their traditional fruitcake, their signature liqueur cakes infused with rum, brandy, or other liqueurs, and now Beatrice Bakery has nut-free options. Visit grandmasbakeshop.com to place your order now. They'll ship anywhere in the world. Happy holidays from Beatrice Bakery.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, it's been a while since we talked. Hey, what's the latest news at Honda of Lincoln?
It has been a while, Charlie. I hope you're doing well. Happy Honda Days is in full swing, and we have over 200 new Hondas in stock right now, ready for our customers to drive home.
Wow, that's the most you've had in a long time.
It is, Charlie. And we have great lease offers and financing from just 0.9% APR.
Hey, Andy, let me tell them about the pre-owned. They have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, with financing from 3.9% APR available. Incredible deals on new and used during Happy Honda Days, or if you need tires on your current vehicle, Honda of Lincoln is your best choice. Maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Deer-owned Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Deer-owned Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Deer-owned Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors. With former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by App Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
Yes, it is time for The Locker Room here on a Thursday on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Falkman in studio with you, with your host, Chancellor Brewington. Chancellor, how's it going today?
Man, it's going fantastic. I'm having a great Thursday evening, or afternoon, I should say. Had a great morning. I'm sure I have a great night. We got What's Brewing tonight. Me and Harrison will be in the studio, I believe, around 8 p.m. Don't quote me on it. Sometimes changes throughout the week. I believe it's 8 p.m., but this is The Locker Room, where I provide a player's perspective on what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? And there's been a lot of news this past 2 weeks, and specifically as of yesterday, it happened literally right after we got off the locker room. Bach, Nate Boerkircher enters the transfer portal. A curveball, I should say. Did not have that in my predictions. We had some portal predictions on this show. I think we said, Fedoni was going to be a big one. We talked about, maybe some of the running backs, maybe Dowdale gets out of there because Emmett stays, maybe Jalen Lloyd in the receiver room. Didn't predict Nate Boerkircher. And Nate's a friend of mine, of course. So I have nothing but love and respect for him. And I can't wait to see what he decides. And, we'll also go over a rules press conference and, all the things that he had to say. But I think one of the things, a commonality that I'm seeing and that I'm kind of hearing the birds chirping, that whole deal is that guys going in the transfer portal is kind of like you get to test the market. You test the market, you see what's going on because, if I'm Nate, I think I'm just putting myself in Nate's shoes. I really don't know anything about the situation for real. But if I'm putting myself in Nate's shoes, okay, I've been, to start my career off, I'm trying to think, 2021, limited role, gets a couple snaps late game, 22, it's kind of me and Trav, and then Nate rotates, that whole deal. And then 23, now it's he's behind Fedoni, in a limited role, then the same thing happens this year. Some say Nate is the best overall tight end that we have in the blocking game, run blocking, pass catching, yards after catch, route running. Just if you combine all of those, short yardage running, blocking in space, perimeter blocking, you put all those together. Some say Nate is overall the best, right? And, personal opinion, I'm not going to say I agree or disagree, but I will say this, there's a market for him out there. And I think honestly, I think Nate will, not so much Nate, but I think people around, Nate's circle and stuff will be surprised, how much, interest there is for a guy like Nate, because he's played a lot of snaps. He's played meaningful snaps 3 years in a row. It's so, when you look at, there's been talks of there's a Missouri. Are you familiar with the Missouri guy, DN guy, who I believe he played a year at Missouri and now he wants to transfer over?
Yeah, Williams Nwaneri is hit the portal and he's got a no contact tag on him. Many believe that's just so nobody contacts him, so he can just come to the Huskers.
Okay, so has he played any? Do you know if he played any snaps at Mizzou?
He played 4 games so he's still got 4 years left. He had, I think, 2 tackles and a sack.
Okay. So probably some late game scenarios for Mizzou, early on, you go play, your FCS school, your low power, your low FBS school, and, probably those type of games, right? And I think, when you talk about the portal, and this is why I think Kurt Zanetti is so genius for doing this, is you go in the portal to get guys who have played. I think that's the thing that I think Husker Nation needs to get a little bit better at. In understanding. I'm not saying this Mizzou guy isn't good. I'm not saying that by no means. I believe he's 5-star. I believe he's, has great potential, of course. But if you keep recruiting off potential, I think you're going to get in some scenarios where, this guy didn't pan out. This guy didn't pan out. You're doing chance instead of, and what I'm talking about is Nate Boerkircher in the portal. I think guys are going to look at, okay, like he's played real snaps. Okay, this is the type of player we're getting. We can plug him in, whether it's a small, I would say a quote unquote smaller schools. I always go to like the American Conference, like a UCF, like one of those schools. That's an interesting. I just thought of that right now, Bach. How about that? UCF, Boerkircher, UCF.
Yeah, that could make some sense.
That makes some sense. But no, and then obviously you kind of get a download, and maybe you hit the portal, and it's a group kind of I would say not consensus, but agreement, or some type of understanding between you and the head coach, you and the, GM, of course. I don't know if Nebraska has a GM yet. I'm sure they'll get one here soon, but kind of saying like, hey, I want to test my market value in the portal. If I go in the portal, do I still have a welcome spot back home, right? Because I'm sure, Nate, this is last year coming up. You want to go out with a bang, and if let's say the NFL is like really what you want to do, and you feel like, or it's not what you want to do, maybe leaving would make sense both ways, right? So then they announced the Heinrich Haarberg to tight end. What was your initial thoughts, just about Haarberg moving to tight end full time for this bowl game?
Well, they've used him as kind of a gadget player this past year, obviously, and lined him up there. They even lined him up at tight end last year. I remember the first game against Minnesota. So I think it's time. I think there's enough athleticism and just potential there that you don't want all that just kind of sitting away at the quarterback position. Of course, he's going into his final year, so it's a guy that's always had NFL potential.
Right.
That has been a team first guy, and maybe he always wanted to be a quarterback. So maybe I'm speaking out of line there, but it just didn't seem like the writing was on the wall for him to get too much playing time this year. But he stuck with it, gave it a shot. But I think it's just time. I think it's time to move on there, and that's what kind of makes it interesting when you maybe connect the Bork deal too. Is that maybe if you bring Haarberg in, all of a sudden he's getting more snaps. You're just kind of feeling like, man, I feel like I'm one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end here, and I keep getting overlooked.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for people, I guess we have to understand what tight end position is. For those that have unrealistic expectations for Haarberg, he's gonna go out there and be the next. Someone talking about what's his name, Tyler Warren from Penn State. Like, we have to use them just like but let's be real. Let's come back. Let's come back to planet Earth and just know that, like, I'm sure Tyler Warren has been playing tight end or some form of tight end or some form of receiver for his whole life, right? So we can't expect that. And also, Heinrich Haarberg, there's an acclimation period to being inside the box and blocking people. That's a whole nother ball game, because if you can't do that, then it tips off the defense every time you're in there that it's going to be something fancy, some type of pass to you, or you're going to be some type of window dressing that when you're lined up in a hip, or you're lined up in the slot, or not so much the slot, but any type of position in line, that you're not necessarily going to be blocking the DN. You're not going to be going up to the next level and blocking a linebacker. I think if he proves he can do that, the position will open, the role for him will open up, the position will open up for him. But if there's a constant, I would say not so much a willingness, because I know Heinrich, like he's gonna be willing to do that, but the technique within there, it's a lot to get. I played the position. It's not easy, especially in the Big Ten. It's not easy, especially just going against guys in practice. It's not easy when you first get acclimated to it. So obviously I wish him nothing but the best. I wish Boerkircher nothing but the best. We talked about UCF. Steve Cooper, he coached quarterbacks here, kind of was in an offensive analyst role, and then he went to quarterbacks when Verduzco left. And he went to Boise. Then he went to, I believe he went somewhere first, but he ended up at Boise State last year. They had a terrific run coaching quarterbacks there. And now he's if Coach Frost hired him as the offensive coordinator. So I just have to, at UCF. So I just have to give big shout out to Coach Coop. He helped me a lot when I was at Nebraska. A very, 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 very knowledgeable guy. So if anyone's like, man, he's never been an offensive coordinator, any UCF fans, you're in great, great hands. He's a great mind. He's he's got that football genius to him. I can definitely vouch for him if that means anything to you. So shout out to him. I can't wait to see just they hired Mackenzie Milton at UCF, brought him in from I believe he was at Tennessee doing some offensive analyst type stuff. Bring him in as the quarterback coach for UCF. I obviously we talk about Lincoln sports, but I have too many ties with those guys. So shout out to those guys. I hope they, just have a fantastic. I hope they go undefeated, man. I'm gonna keep saying I hope they go undefeated this year. I know Frost kind of said no one expects to go undefeated, but hey, why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, why not us? That's always a good slogan. All right, let's take a quick break here on The Locker Room. We'll be back with more from Chancellor coming up after this.
The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to huskerfantravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or huskerfantravel.com.
With a Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you got to come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps. Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
It's year-end tax saving season, and Acres is offering extraordinary buyer incentive programs. Get 20% off select late model John Deere large ag equipment. And with a special 24-month interest waiver, you can upgrade your fleet and save even more. Visit your local Acres store or go to acres.com to choose from the widest selection of John Deere tractors, combines, planters, and sprayers. Act now. Incentives expire December 31st, 2024. Financing program, subproof credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions may apply.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Imagine a world where your office IT runs smoothly, securely, and effortlessly. A day where you aren't worried about the next outage or password compromise. At Hamilton, we take care of everything from monitoring and maintenance to security and support. We partner with your business to design integrated technology solutions that fit your needs now and your goals for the future. With on-site and remote IT support options, we're always just a call or click away. Elevate your IT with Hamilton Managed IT. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back in the locker room here on 93.7 The Ticket. Chancellor Brewington in studio. We're just talking about some Husker news that was going on. A lot of moves at tight end. We'll jump back into that conversation or whatever Chancellor really feels like he's got going here in the second segment.
Yeah, so we were just talking about this Nate Boerkircher situation and, this Haarberg move. And I'll just kind of summarize what I was going through. Kind of just this topic of guys testing their market value in the portal and understanding what they're worth and, aligning it with or, comparing it with what they're currently getting and opportunity-wise, market value, of course, financially, resources, all that good stuff. And I think a guy like Nate Boerkircher is going to be an attractive piece for a lot of teams. Might be a piece that guys are that teams are missing. Good tight end play. I'll tell you what, a tight end that can block, that you can leave in there, that can block, but then can also, go and run a route and, make someone miss and do all the things that kind of Nate can do. He's a valuable piece to an offensive coordinator. And I think he can move the chains, of course, but I think he can be a pivotal piece to an offense in the Big Ten and in different places. So, Boerkircher is a good player, and maybe I don't think we've seen his best football yet at Nebraska, and maybe that's the thing, where he feels like he can play better football somewhere else. And if that's the philosophy of an individual going in, a Nebraska player specifically going into the portal, saying they think they can play better football elsewhere, I don't think anyone should have a problem with that. But it comes to the point where you want to, of course, see your team do good, and you don't want pieces like Boerkircher to leave because they add value. But at the end of the day, these guys, have about one. I think Boerkircher has one more year left, so you want to make sure he goes out and balls, man. Put it in the simplest terms. I want Nick Boerkircher to go out and ball. Coach Rule had a press conference, kind of talking about the Boerkircher move. He hinted at that Boerkircher is welcome to come back, and we saw that with Emmett Johnson. Seen that with Kenoa Davis coming back after testing the market value, and really this could be a contract negotiation scenario where hey, look, I'm not really where I'm at right now, where I was last year isn't where I want to be. I'm going to hop in the portal and force a negotiation, right? And I think this is where the contracts really need to get evolved and really need to get solidified now, is that you have guys that I'll say it's tough because a guy, let's say a guy like who took a jump this year on the offense, Ja'Cory Barney. But Ja'Cory Barney is a perfect individual. He took obviously he didn't have a past record. He's just a freshman, but he took a jump this year offensively in his play as a player. So, this next year, just market value wise, it went up, right? So in theory, he would have to negotiate, or Nebraska would have to negotiate with him, right? Correct, Bach, you would say? Yeah. So I think there's a continuous learning of this, and I think Carricker kind of hit it on the head before. It's just like you kind of hear it in Matt Rule's press conference that like there's this adjustment period that all these college coaches are going through. I just watched the press conference with Bill Belichick, right? And it's like his vision for it seems like he's almost going to be ahead of the game, because his vision for it is like 5 years down the line. Like he sees the NFL formula already in play, where if you've been a college coach, you're probably going to get stuck in this has been formula of the old college football way. But I think the quicker that people adapt, adjust, and improvise to this new way, and I think this is where college football takes off. And it's almost like the people who are stuck in the comfort of how it used to be. You could get stuck there, and good teams can become average teams, and average teams can become great teams. You just look at the SMU being in there, and then you kind of see the drop off in Clemson's play last year. Then all of a sudden they get some new pieces, and they develop a little bit more. And now they're, in the college football playoffs. You think of a team like Oregon. You think of a team like, Bama, that's kind of slipping out, and I think there's going to be a continuous struggle for the coaches that don't develop and don't move in the direction of where college football is going, and try to restrain. Look at a team like Colorado. I believe, you don't lose to, was it Kansas? No, not Kansas State. Iowa State, I believe it was. Was it the Iowa State loss?
They did lose to Kansas. I'm not sure.
Or Kansas. The loss to Kansas. They win that game. They're in the college football playoffs, right? Or, a contender, a real contender, of course. Dealing with the SMU and Iowa State situation, of course, but like that, they had a real shot, of course, but it's because the philosophy of going and getting guys and developing, but also paying players what they're worth, not being afraid to spend money. Of course, they have the capital to do so. But yeah, I think that's where college football is going. When you read, when you go through Coach Rule's presser, he talks about John Butler and this decision. Hiring him, it was kind of the first time he vocally expressed it, but it sounds like there were some big names in there. Sounds like there were some big names, but he said that it was the most logical and it made the most sense. He wants to play the same type of football, and I think he talked about this, and I think this is a great point to hit on for the fans. I think this is encouraging, is that it's not the way they play football, the way Nebraska plays defense, the way they practice is really attractive to defensive coordinators. Why? Because they practice so hard. They tackle throughout the week. They're not afraid to go 9-on-7. They hit really hard. It's real physical practices. You think of teams that practice that way. Throughout the past couple years with Rule, we've always talked about Georgia. Georgia's practice, this, I guess Kirby Smart has them boys really going hard and, going all out. And that reflects in the way they play defense. That reflects in the way the physicality of their teams. You know, you talk about the saving days with Bama and, how they approach practice and, there's never walking on the field. Just little things like that is attracted to defense coordinator. So bringing Butler in, he said he'll announce soon the possible defensive backs coach. He's already interviewed a couple guys. He has a couple, I believe, this was yesterday and today and the next day as well, interviewing some guys and, trying to find a perfect slot. And I think having Butler as your DC, I think a good defensive back coach is going to be high on his list, obviously, coming from the NFL, coming from the Bills and, that secondary being, one of the top 5 secondaries in the past 5 years. Right. So, I think Nebraska, coaching staff wise, you hire, the Chiefs D-line coach, you hire, of course, John Butler. I think they're moving in the right direction, Bach. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know not everybody is so excited about every hire, but if you look at it in its totality, it seems to be a good collection of people with a lot of experience in the NFL, which is a lot of, the goal for a lot of these kids. So something that you can certainly sell there. And I still feel, and they weren't able to announce the Phil Snow associate head coach thing because that hasn't ironed out yet. But, I think, too, if there's any concern about Coach Butler, to have Snow in the building who has, if they announce Phil Snow, he's got a huge resume with a lot of years in defensive coordinating. So they've got the help in the building if they need it feels like. And so, put it all together. And then, a lot of people are just kind of have moved on from the Dana Holgorsen news, but if you include that in there, if we step back in a few months and say, okay, what changed last year, and to incite that type of excitement and potential in a struggling offense that's held Nebraska back in the Rule era the last 2 years, I think you got to be pretty excited for it. It's going to be fascinating to see what the defense looks like, both in the kind of the 3-3-5 type of deal where they want to keep it that way, but obviously just so many new players, and regardless of how many players were in that back seven or what it might be, I still think that, a big part of this defense and the success they've had over the last couple of years was Nash and Ty, and they're going to be gone one way or the other. Thankfully, not in the bowl game.
Yeah, Nash and Ty, those guys are going to be hard pieces to replace. You're going to have to go and do some real digging in the portal. I mean, people mention, Central Michigan guy. Oh, this is the guy to get, and stuff like that. When you're looking at the skill set, I think that's a conversation the new defense corner, John Butler, he's going to have with Rule and, as a joint staff, and just understanding what type of guys they want to bring in. And I think it's pretty cool to have pieces the past 2 years that were consistent, having like a Gifford, having a Ty and Nash, having a John Bullock, having a Tommy Hill, and even last year with a Quentin Newsome, the guys like that, Deshaun Singleton. I say this because then when you go into the portal, you can kind of know, like, okay, there's certain things that I like that such and such did, that played, there's certain things I love that Gift did. There's certain things, I wish Gift could have done better. When we go out and recruit, I want to get this type of player, right? And, and Rule talked about he's scouting the transfer portal guys, and that's what you have to do now. I mean, there is so many people out there, and you don't want to get bamboozled. It's like I don't know if anybody's, does online dating, right? But, you go online dating, you swipe right, you match with them, right? And then all of a sudden you go out to the date and it's not who you saw online.
Oh, yeah.
Bach, that's what you don't want. You don't want that. What you want is, wow, she looks exactly like I swiped right on. We matched for a specific. I went to the Instagram, I went to the Twitter, I looked her up on Facebook, right? It's the same thing with recruiting. Recruiting is just like dating. You want to make sure when you swipe right on a player, it's exactly what the merchandise you want, right? So, and I don't want to put players in the merchandise category, but you understand what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's take a quick break. We got one more segment with Chancellor Brewington here on the Locker Room on a Thursday. We'll be back after this.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you got to come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
This holiday season, grab the gift that everyone is hoping to open on Christmas morning and savor for as long as possible. Fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Beatrice Bakery offers their traditional fruitcake, their signature liqueur cakes infused with rum, brandy, or other liqueurs, and now Beatrice Bakery has nut-free options. Visit grandmasbakeshop.com to place your order now. They'll ship anywhere in the world. Happy holidays from Beatrice Bakery.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Danielle. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back in the locker room here on 93.7 The Ticket. Before we close out, I did just want to let people know there's some good news for some former Ticket employees here, or even current ones. Kyle Perry, who hosts Uncut, has signed with the Savannah Bananas, which is awesome. Kind of like, if you aren't familiar, like they do a lot of fun and stuff, maybe like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, if you will. So we'll be looking out for Kyle Perry and see what all that means. And then also Megan Walker, who used to be here. I believe she stopped her show for a while here, but now she is being recruited to the WWE. So very cool stuff from, again, former and current 93.7 The Ticket employees who obviously played their respective sport at Nebraska as well. Well, let's get into what we have been doing so far this week. A daily book review, Brews book review to be exact, here on The Locker Room on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello, cultured Nebraskans. Sit back, relax, and listen to Chancellor Brewington give you his honest review of his latest reading. This is Brews Book Review on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Today on Brews Book Review, we got one of my favorite books I've read this year. You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor is Canadian man. Probably one of my favorite quote unquote mentors I have. You know, he's passed away, rest in peace to him. But the material he's put out, via YouTube, through his books and teaching seminars, you can learn a boatload from this man. He's a big advocate for the book I did yesterday, Think and Grow Rich. He's kind of the one who got me to not only read it, but to study it and understand the concepts and the principles and the kind of the mysteries inside that book. But today we got You Are Born Rich, and it's this concept that we are God's highest form of creation, whether you call him God, source, creator, universe, the cause of the cause and effect. But we are his greatest form of creation. And that being said, that there's a spiritual side to all of us, and inside that spiritual realm is where our blessings and all those things are. And it talks about the process of this thing called manifestation and this thing called the law of attraction, and that there's this thought energy all around us, this ether, and it's invisible and we can't see it. And through this thought energy, we can actually go into our conscious mind and form pictures and form imaginations. And as we get emotionally involved with these pictures and imaginations that we have, they get planted into our subconscious mind. And anything that gets impressed in the subconscious mind has to get expressed with and throughout the body. And that puts our body in a certain vibration or vibratory state. And based on the vibration that we're in, or the level of frequency that we're on, it attracts to us. So there's a primary law of the law of vibration. The secondary law is the law of attraction. And obviously that puts you in a certain vibration, and then that produces results in your life. So this book covers it all. This book is kind of like Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh, all in one. But it covers this concept and it debunks the concept that the rich is only for a select few of the population, and that nobody has access to that type of wealth. And it just debunks all of it. It talks about the there's a spirit inside of us that's always trying to express himself and is always for fuller expression and expansion, and that we actually limit it based on our thoughts and our limitations that we put on ourselves, by our self-images, by our paradigms that were set when we were children. And then also it talks about I love this one topic. He talks about the law of gender, that there's a gestation or incubation period for the manifestation of every seed. And he says, make no mistake, the seed of wealth turned over to the subconscious mind, there's a certain time period for that to come to pass, and that spirit always manifests in its polar opposite, which is the physical world we see, which is reality. So if you want to kind of test your thoughts about money, test your the way you think about money, the way you think about yourself pertaining to money, some type of like belief system around money, this is your book. And if you don't want to do it, do not pick up this book, because it will probably ruffle some feathers. But I definitely suggested Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. But that's all we got for today. I appreciate you tuning into the Locker Room. As always, go Big Red. And we'll be back tomorrow, 1 to 2 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth 90.